Okay, and now we have James McLynas, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, for Pinellas County Sheriff. He's running. You are one of 3 candidates who's running to be the next sheriff of Pinellas County.
That's correct. It's actually pronounced McLynas.
McLynas, is that correct? Yes. McLynas? Okay.
That's correct.
So go ahead and address the voters.
Well, I'd actually like to talk about something a little bit different. I've been on a lot of these forums, and I get asked a lot of basically the same questions. What's your priority? What are you going to do different? That kind of thing. And really what I'd like to discuss here today is something that is really concerning me tremendously, and that is the economic damage that the COVID-19 is doing to Pinellas County and to the state of Florida and to the whole country, as a matter of fact. And the unconstitutional lockdowns of the sheriff that closed all the businesses caused tremendous economic damage for a lot of people. We're getting to the point now where we're starting to run out of the unemployment benefits, starting to run out of the assistance, starting to run out of every bit of financial help that these people are receiving. And we're getting reports all across the entire country of businesses that are going out of business, people that have lost their jobs, people that are going to be getting evicted when the eviction moratoriums end. And I think that we're facing a really, really tough time, both in the state of Florida and specifically here in Pinellas, because our economy depends on tourism here in Pinellas. And basically what I'd like to bring up to the voters here in Pinellas County is that I'm intending, as sheriff, of ending all cannabis enforcement. Literally ending all cannabis enforcement. I don't believe that people should be locked up over a plant. I think that there is a racist background to how come people are being arrested for cannabis. And I think that it wastes literally about $100 million a year here in Pinellas County that could be better used, reallocated to things like drug treatment, tiny home villages for the homeless, and a number of different things, more so than just locking people up in jail. I don't believe that handcuffs can cure addiction. But anyway, there's also another side effect of making Pinellas County what I call a cannabis-friendly community. And that is, currently we have medical cannabis. And medical cannabis was supposed to help the community and do all kinds of wonderful things. And it's really not doing anything for the economic impact here in Pinellas County. When you have a legalized or a structured, regulated cannabis industry, what you have is you have basically the growers, that the half a dozen of them that bribe whoever to get their licenses. They're going to get rich. They're going to buy bigger mansions. And they're going to buy bigger yachts. That doesn't help the people in Pinellas. Then you have the dispensaries. And they're mostly stock owned. And those stock owners will make more money. And the owners of those companies will make more money. But that really doesn't help the people in Pinellas. Then you have the government who takes their $5, $10, $20, $30 per tax on the sales here. And that also doesn't really help the people of Pinellas. And so what I'm talking about is literally turning Pinellas County into what I call a cannabis-friendly community, which means if people want to grow it in their backyard, if they want to smoke it out on the beach, if they want to do anything, they'll be able to do that under me. And the reason for that is...
Whoa. So what you're saying is that in this jurisdiction, if you're elected, that people will get to grow marijuana for recreational purposes, and you're not going to do anything, even though the law says that that's illegal.
Absolutely. A sheriff's mandate and the constitutional mandate of a sheriff does not really require that we enforce state law or any law, really. In fact, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office up until 1960 didn't enforce any laws, and there was only 10 Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies. And in 1960, when they absorbed the Pinellas County Patrol, they typically just took over what the Pinellas County Patrol was doing without really a legal mandate to do so. And the only mandate a sheriff has is to keep the peace. And I don't find anything peaceful with arresting people over cannabis.
Are you going to arrest? Are you going to arrest people that do cocaine?
I'm probably going to lean far away from arresting anybody for personal use drugs. We're going to take some of the money that we use to arrest these people and house them, and instead we're going to be offering them treatment. We're going to be offering them options instead of handcuffs. And I don't believe, again, that handcuffs cure addiction. And I think any officer that says that they do is lying to the people. It's just a revolving door of mess that these addicts are involved in. So that's something that we can address with the money that we save. But what I'd like to talk about is, if we do implement this, if we do become a cannabis-friendly community, it's my position that we should be able to literally double tourism here in 2021. In 2019, we had about 15 million tourists that came here, but the Florida state had about 115 or so million people that came here, maybe a little bit more. And according to every study that you look at, about 22 to 25% of the population is cannabis friendly. That would mean that about 30 million of the people that came to Florida on a regular basis are open to the idea of cannabis use. Now, if you took those 30 million people that came here on a regular year and they were deciding where to go in Florida, I personally feel that every single one of them, if they knew about Pinellas County, would come here rather than go to any other cannabis.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if the feds come in and start arresting people for growing recreationally?
Thank you. I don't.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do as the sheriff when people start getting arrested by the feds?
Well, I honestly don't think that the feds are going to come down here and pull people's plants out of their yard. And if they want to do that, I can't stop them.
You can, but they can. And your personal beliefs aside, what happens when that happens, sir?
Well, I would be there in defense of these people. I would absolutely be there in defense of these people. The people have a sheriff that stands up for the people. If the people have a sheriff that believes in the Constitution, people have a sheriff that will stand up in defense of the people, then they have more freedom. And that's my basic position.
I understand, but what are you going to do if they get arrested and put in the federal pokey? What are you going to do?
Well, there is no federal pokey here. They come to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department.
When there's a hold on them, when the federal government holds them. What are you not going to? You're not going to allow your jail to house persons?
That's correct. I am not going to allow any prisoners to be booked into my jail on a cannabis enforcement. The Pinellas County Jail is no longer to do. I bet you Naco's going to allow his jail, or maybe a neighboring county will allow their jail. Well, if Naco wants to go ahead and have federal people come down and try and steal Pinellas County citizens, he can go ahead and bear with the brunt of that. But the bottom line is the Pinellas County Sheriff does have the right, does have the option to deprioritize any crime that I want to. If I don't want to spend another penny on cannabis enforcement wasted by the taxpayers, I have the ability and the right to do that. Period.
Okay, let Janine. Janine wants to jump in.
First of all, you would agree the difference between saying we're not going to focus on arresting these people versus, hey, come to Pinellas County and smoke weed on our beaches are two very different things. Don't you think if you were elected and you actually tried to do this, that our governor would have an issue with it? Don't get me wrong. I love the idea. I'm all in.
Me too.
I just don't see how you're going to do it with the current governor that we have and the fact that he's going to go cry to his wannabe daddy, who I think would send the feds in. Right?
And you're going to have a problem with people coming to you saying, well, you're not enforcing this that's on the books, so I don't want you to enforce X, Y, Z.
We just got done talking about that. The bottom line is a sheriff has the right to deprioritize his laws.
Are you going to represent? Okay, are you going to enforce people driving with their licenses suspended? Because I'm going to ask you. Some people might ask you not to do that. Are you going to do that?
I don't believe that we should be arresting people for paperwork things. No, absolutely not.
Okay, so you would not. Okay, gotcha.
No, they would get citations, they would get notices to appear, but they would not get arrested. No.
Would you want to know why their license was suspended?
Pardon
me? No, okay, no, wait, hold on, Janine. That's a good question.
We're getting off track here.
No, we're not. No, we're not, because we're a country of law and order, and there is something that it's unlawful. It's on the books. It's unlawful to recreationally possess marijuana and use it. Okay. The citizens went through a process of amending for medical marijuana purposes, for medical use. Okay. What you're saying is you're going to be selective in the enforcement of things that are already criminalized. So when you start doing that, you're going to get yourself into a slippery slope. So we're not getting off track at all. People are going, listen, let me finish. I caught your nuance. You said you're not going to arrest them. You're going to give them a notice to appear. There are people that are needing to drive for work purposes and other important purposes. And so when somebody comes to you and says that they wish that you not criminalize at all, have start up a prosecution or refer over to the state attorney, are you going to do that too?
I'm going to drastically reduce the criminalization of dozens of things.
And let me help you out. Your deputies, your law enforcement members will not give a notice to appear. They're going to let people go if it's for driving while license is suspended. Are you going to do that?
I think that I'm going to give them the discretion to do that. Yes.
No, are you going to give them the discretion to arrest for marijuana possession when it's for recreational purposes? Okay. So then my question is, are you going to give them the discretion? So you're being unequal under the Constitution. You're going to find yourself with a problem there, sir. Okay, Janine, go.
I don't believe so at all, because if
I do.
The officer is there, well, you don't let me finish. If the officer is there and he sees somebody driving recklessly and endangering the public, that person would most likely wind up with some charges. If a person driving down the road,
no recklessness. They're driving without recklessness.
Go. Yeah, if they're driving without recklessness, they don't need to be arrested. They don't need to have the government try and steal more money from them. No.
So you're not going to let your members of your agency, if you're the sheriff, to use their discretion to arrest those folks? Yes? No?
Which folks? Cannabis or license?
The ones that are driving without recklessness. Just driving with their license suspended.
If they're just driving and they're not causing anybody any harm, that's correct.
Why are they being pulled over?
I don't know. They shouldn't be. If there's some reason to be pulled over, if there's some kind of probable cause, they'll deal with that. They'll deal with whatever the probable cause was for pulling the people over. But again, I'd like to get back to what we're supposed to be talking about. My 7 minutes here. If we do what I'm talking about doing, if we do elect me, if I do end cannabis enforcement here in Pinellas County, I sincerely think that we can save Pinellas' economy. I sincerely think that we can restore the jobs, we can restore the businesses, we can restore the income, we can restore our economy here in Pinellas County. And I think by doing this, we will give ourselves a massive advantage over every single other county in Florida vying for those same tourists that are coming to the state. And if we can do that, then the state will recover money in taxes, bed taxes, sales taxes. If there's a $5 billion that is spent by these tourists, that'll get spent over and over and over again reciprocally here in Pinellas County. And these people here in Pinellas County will bear the benefit of cannabis rather than just having the dispensary, the growers, and the government. And that's what I'm talking about doing. I'm talking about cannabis freedom here in Pinellas County, the only place in the entire country that will have it.
Okay, well, that's wow. That's interesting. Very interesting that's part of your platform.
Wait, are we? If he wins, and we could smoke pot on the beaches, right, Haiti? We still can't smoke pot because of the Florida bar, right? There's some rule about don't break the law or something. So I don't think you're going to have the lawyers joining you, but I'll definitely be waving at everybody.
But listen, Janine, here's the thing:
the
feds consider use for medical purposes to be illegal too. So there you go.
And they consider the medical marijuana growers to be illegal too. They're not going to come down here, especially if Pinellas County's economy is healthy and we're doing well because of this. And the people of Pinellas support it. And they say, you know what? Saving our economy is worth smelling a possible wafting of the aroma of cannabis on the beach. If we're talking about saving the lives and livelihoods, we're talking about ending so many evictions and so many foreclosures and so many people being homeless here in the county. We're talking about so much good that can come from a little change, a change of just ending the enforcement of cannabis. And that's what I'm offering to the people of Pinellas County. I'm offering an entirely new way of looking at everything. And we're going to start with cannabis enforcement here in Pinellas and make Pinellas County the strongest economy in the entire state based on my election and my election alone.
It's a great argument. Very interesting.
Yeah,
look at Colorado's got good numbers concerning their economy because they legalized marijuana there.
And
okay, listen. McLynas. Am I saying that correctly? McLynas.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I've given you way more than 7 minutes. Thank you for coming on. Very interesting piece of your platform. It is indeed. This is available to all candidates. So Eliseo Santana, certainly Sheriff Gualtieri could avail himself. I would be surprised if he did, but in any event, anyone can text rather, not call. 727-214.
Can I say the name of my website?
Hold on. Yes, I will. I'll give you an opportunity to do that. 727-214-4930. You can go ahead and text me if you're running in Pinellas, Hillsborough, or Pasco, and you'd like to come on for a couple of minutes to address the voters. Go ahead and text me, and I'll send you over the link. Go ahead and wrap up. I'll go ahead and I'll type up your website so that the voters can know where to visit.
Right.
You as
all right. The website is McLynas, McLynasFOR Sheriff.com. And if you go there, you click on my platform positions, you'll see the #1 platform position is cannabis. You can go out there and read all about exactly what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and why I'm going to do it.
Is that correct?
McLynas for Sheriff, yes. And there's also an explanation of the difference between a tax-based stimulus of cannabis and a spending-based stimulus of cannabis. And if you'll read that, you'll understand exactly where I'm coming from. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.